If you look back at your career, I bet you've worked for two very different kinds of people.
Oh, for sure.
There's one, the boss, who just sucks the oxygen out of the room, the one who makes you feel like a replaceable part.
And everything just grinds to a halt around them.
Yeah. And then there's the other type, the leader who somehow makes everyone on the team feel smarter, more capable.
And actually excited to be there. That difference. That's what our deep dive is all about today.
It really is. And it all boils down to a set of choices leaders make every single day.
And that's where the work of Professor Dr. Senthil Kumar comes in. His research at the School of Fish Strategy Consulting gives us this really powerful framework he calls leadership dialectics.
Dialectic, so two opposing forces.
Exactly. And the argument here is that the old model of leadership, the 20th century heroic leader.
The big boss.
The big boss. And I love this quote, a low-resolution picture for a high-definition world.
That's good. So what's that low-res picture?
It's that traditional figure, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one person standing at the top of a rigid pyramid.
Command and control.
That's the one. And this represents what the research calls the ecosystem mindset. The whole logic is built on control and extraction.
So success is measured by my personal status.
Your personal status. Yeah. And value is created by addition adding credit and power only to yourself at the top. And that model, it just completely breaks in today's complex world.
So our mission today is to provide the high-definition upgrade. We're going from that restrictive ecosystem to the expansive ecosystem mindset.
A shift from control and extraction to growth and contribution. And we're going to break down 4 key dualities that really define that shift.
Okay, let's dive into the first one. This feels like the most tangible starting point. It's about the leader's craft.
How they actually do the job.
Right. And the core question is, are they trying to wield power over people or generate power with them?
That is the fundamental dividing line. The heroic boss, the ecosystem leader, they see power as a zero-sum game.
My gain is your loss.
Precisely. So their focus is on controlling. They micromanage, not because the team needs it, but because they need to feel essential. They see their people as, well, puppets, cogs in a machine.
And the host leader, how do they operate?
The host is all about empowering. They understand that real power, sustainable power, comes from distributing it. Their job is to set up the environment,
Like a gardener.
A gardener, exactly. Provide the tools, clear the obstacles, and this is the hard part, step back and trust the team to get it done. They're cultivating potential, not obedience.
Okay, but I have to push on that a little. Sometimes a leader has to step in, right? In a crisis, you need control. How do we tell that apart from just toxic micromanagement?
It's about the default setting and the intent.
The default.
Yeah. The hero's default is control. They see trust as something you have to earn over and over again by following their exact process. The host leader's default is trust. They know corrections are needed sometimes, but empowerment is the strategy.
That really clarifies what you see in the sports world. The toxic coach who just screams, uses fear. That's pure power over. The team is just playing to not get yelled at.
Yes, exactly. And then you contrast that with someone like the legendary NBA coach, Phil Jackson.
The Zen master.
The Zen master. He was famous for creating a calm environment. He created space. He gave these world-class athletes the autonomy they needed to make decisions in a split second.
He knew his job wasn't to dictate every single pass.
His job was to design the system and the mental space that allowed their genius to come out. That is power with.
And what's just mind-blowing is how old this idea is. It's not some new MBA theory.
Not at all. This connects directly to ancient wisdom. The Thirukkural, which is this incredible Tamil text from over 2,000 years ago, has this perfect instruction on empowerment.
What does it say?
It says, having assessed this can be done by this person using these means, let the leader leave the task to them. I mean, think about that. It's a 2,000-year-old warning against micromanagement. Once you delegate, you trust.
Okay, so that shift from control to trust is the first big step. And once a leader decides how they use power, the next question is, well, why?
The intent behind it all.
Exactly. And that brings us to the second duality, which is about the leader's intent. Is your mission to lift yourself up or to lift up your team?
And this is the difference between self-promotion and helping others succeed. The self-promoting boss sees the team as a platform.
A stage.
A stage for them. Their internal monologue is, look at me. They are masters at hoarding all the credit and outsourcing all the blame when things go sideways.
You see this so clearly in the tech world. I mean, think of Adam Newman at WeWork. The story wasn't about the company's health or the team. It was just this constant escalating spectacle of his personal brand.
Completely. The team's work was just proof of his genius, not their own. And then you have the polar opposite, someone like Bill Campbell, the trillion-dollar coach.
He mentored Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, the Google founders.
Giants of the industry. But he never, ever wanted the spotlight. His whole mission was focused on their success. He was the scaffolding, holding the ladder so they could climb.
That's the host leader. Their success is measured by who they promote, who grows under them.
Yes, and this intent, it bleeds into how they handle resources too. The heroic boss usually operates from what the research calls a mindset of scarcity.
There's only so much to go around.
Right, a finite pie. So they become greedy and hoarding, they sit on information, they play favorites with resources, because sharing anything feels like losing power. And that scarcity mindset actually shrinks the pie for everyone.
So how does the host leader get past that fear?
They operate from a mindset of abundance. The host is benevolent and generous. They share knowledge, they share context, because they truly believe value isn't created by hoarding it, but by making everyone in the network more capable.
They want to grow the total pie.
Grow the total pie, exactly. They know that a rising tide lifts all boats, including their own. But it takes a certain security in yourself, I think.
An integrity the heroic leader just doesn't have.
Right. You have to put the mission above the ego. You see it in figures like Mahatma Gandhi, who united a nation not through control, but through shared sacrifice and a spirit of generosity. That's a leader who steps back when things go well, but steps forward to take the blame when they don't.
So let's shift focus a bit now, maybe zoom out. We've talked about the craft and the intent, and now let's talk about the leader's compass.
Their time horizon, their worldview.
Yeah. And the third duality is this. Are you stuck in short-term reaction, or are you building for a generational legacy?
The low-quality leader is just trapped in the urgent. Always firefighting.
Just trying to make the next quarter's numbers.
Exactly. And they'll sacrifice the long-term health of the company for those short-term vanity metrics. So while they're celebrating a good quarter, the foundations of the organization are, well, they're rotting away.
In this reactive mode, it comes with a certain worldview, which Professor Kumar calls fatalistic.
Yes. The leader who says, well, that's just how the market is, or we have to do this because our competitors are. They're just being swept along. They inherit a future they don't think they can actually shape.
But the host leader, they're playing a different game entirely. They have that generational view.
They're planting seeds for a forest they know they might never get to sit in. They're navigating by a map and the stars, not by a stopwatch.
And their view is futuristic.
Deeply futuristic. They believe the future isn't something you inherit, it's something you have to author. You have to build it. They see a wall, and their first thought is, okay, where do we build the door?
And that takes real thought leadership, not just repeating what worked last quarter.
It's the opposite of that. It's defining a bold new direction.
Which that distinction between inheriting and authoring the future, it really sets up the final biggest duality. It's about the leader's entire identity.
Right. Is it egocentric or eco-centric?
The egocentric leader, that's the hero.
The hero. They genuinely believe they are the center of their universe. The whole organization is a pyramid designed to serve their needs. Success, for them, is only measured by their personal status, their wealth, their title.
It seems so fragile.
It is, because it relies on control. If they lose that control, the whole system just falls apart.
And the alternative is the host leader, the egocentric identity.
The egocentric leader gets that they are just one important part of a much bigger system, a network. Success for them is measured by the health and the resilience of the whole environment, the collective we.
When the system thrives, they thrive.
Exactly. Their own success is just embedded in that broader health.
And the source material gives us some just incredibly stark examples of this.
Oh, they couldn't be more different. On the egocentric side, you have someone like Dennis Kozlowski, the former CEO of Tyco.
The $2 million birthday party.
Paid for with company money. I mean, that is the absolute peak of extraction and self-centered leadership.
And on the ecocentric side,
you have the ultimate move. Yvon Chouinard, the founder of Patagonia, he gave his entire multi-billion-dollar company away.
I still can't quite get my head around that.
He restructured the ownership so that all future profits, forever, go to fighting climate change. He defined his legacy not by what he took for himself, but by what he gave to the health of the system he cared about.
So if we pull all four of these dualities together, what's the bottom line? How do these two leaders create value differently?
It really comes down to simple math. The hero leader, in their ecosystem, focuses on addition.
Adding to their own status, adding rules to control people.
Right. But the host leader, in their ecosystem, is weaving a web. They create value through multiplication.
Okay, help us unpack that. Multiplication, what does that actually mean?
It means you multiply the potential of everyone else.
Yeah.
If a host leader empowers an employee to make a decision that used to need 4 levels of sign-off, they haven't just saved some time. They have multiplied that person's agency and output, and they've freed up 3 managers to do more important work. They multiply courage, they multiply capability, they multiply trust. And that distributed value, that's what's resilient. That's what builds a real legacy.
So this whole deep dive really shows that the choice for anyone in a position of influence it's pretty clear.
It is.
You can be the hero, the one who needs the spotlight and solves every problem themselves, or you can be the host.
The one who creates the space for everyone else to contribute their genius.
And the research is so clear on this. High-quality leadership is not some gift you're born with.
Absolutely not. It is a practice skill. And more than that, it's a conscious choice of character. The whole journey from that ecosystem to the ecosystem is built on deliberate daily work.
And what's amazing is that the same ancient source you mentioned, the Through Cural, actually gives us a roadmap for how to cultivate this high-definition mindset.
It does. 2 simple but very deep disciplines.
The first one is inquiry or undo.
Inquiry is just that discipline of constantly questioning yourself, your motives, your assumptions. It's moving from the tactical question, how do we do this faster, to the much deeper strategic question.
Why are we even doing this at all?
Exactly. That foundational inquiry, that's the heart of real thought leadership.
And the second discipline is association periarethtunakutul.
This is about consciously choosing your community, finding great mentors and surrounding yourself with people who already embody these high-quality traits you're trying to build.
So leadership isn't learned in a vacuum.
It's learned in community, by watching and absorbing the character of others.
Ultimately, the highest form of leadership is becoming the host, not the hero.
The goal, as the sources define it, is to achieve a state of character. They call it Sandru, where your very presence in a room multiplies the potential, the courage, and the well-being of everyone around you.
Which really reinforces that final message.
Leadership is not a position. It is a state of character. And so the final question we want to leave you with is this. Given these choices, which character will you consciously choose to build starting today?